Greetings from my media source, everybody. Well, it is the third and final week of our 80s series sets that I've been doing for Zaranyzerak and the general public. And this week it is the A-Team. This one and Simon & Simon were picked up sometime after Magnum and we started watching them. But I remember seeing episodes of the A-Team on like TV Land when I was little, so I already was familiar with the show. And I don't like it as much as the other two shows, but it's still lots of fun. Mainly because of Murdoch and B.A. and their relationship is what makes the show so fun. Because my dad can recall back in the day when it was on at like 8 o'clock on NBC. So, and you can tell just by the manner of the show. It's frankly, sorry, I don't want to offend any fans because I'm a big fan of the show, but the A-Team is a kid's show. It's really sort of targeted to that appeal. I mean, they have dozens of shootouts in every episode, and nobody ever gets shot. The plots of the episodes are pretty much, you know, they're always the bland, same old thing. It's small town needs their help, they go help them. They scare the guys by firing shots at them, but they don't get hit. And the military's chasing them because they're fugitives on the run. But it's a great show because it's a character piece. It is centered around, that's what carries the show, is they have great actors playing great characters and they have great interactions with one another. Especially Dwight Schultz and Mr. T. They give the most entertaining aspect of the show. And we also noticed they do like a Jeep flip in every episode. Maybe it's not always a Jeep, but they always, at least lately, in these past 2 seasons we've been watching, it seems like every episode they have to fit in like flipping a car. Like they'll be in a car chase, or, you know, it doesn't matter where it is, whether anywhere from like some forest, you know, deserted setting where they can, or to a, you know, a city setting in Los Angeles. They'll always try to flip a car or a Jeep or something. And it's really funny to, now every time we watch an A-Team, we're just like, alright, when's the Jeep flip gonna come? So, but it's definitely a great show. So we're going to start with Season 1. And these ones, I'm not sure if Zaranyzerak ever started collecting these. But I actually have the original release of Season 1. They have since put this one out of print and re-released it in a fatter version of this style with most likely flipper discs. I'm not sure on that, but this is the nice snazzy original release with the slipcase and the fold-out, which of course was made up all nice to make you want to buy the rest of the series. And they've released all the seasons of this. We only have up through 3. There are only 5 seasons. And it's this nice transparent slipcase on the back. Here, transcribed, if you can read that, it is the intro to the show you hear. Every episode in 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. And there you go with the van and bullets on the lettering. And then you got brief little character sum-ups for the 4 main members of the team. And then the lists and descriptions of the 14 Season 1 episodes. And then the original release of Season 1, ta-da, had single-sided discs. That's right. And they actually did have a spot where we could put some inserts. And then, I love it when a plan comes together. Of course, Hannibal's famous line. And then you've got George Peppard as Hannibal, Mr. T as B.A., Dwight Schultz as Murdoch, and Dirk Benedict, what a name, as Face. And it's all set up to look like bullet holes underneath. And Season 1 of the A-Team, I think, is probably the one I prefer thus far. So this is the original Season 1 set that they produced is a very nice one. And then Season 2, they switch over to the cheaper slim cases. And there you go, and slide it out. and they've got double-sided discs. Now the A-Team ones, unlike the Magnum double-sided discs, the A-Team, this really pisses me off, quite honestly, to put it, just to throw it out there. It really does. That they choose this format, because the A-Team has freeze screens if I try and watch it on any of my new players, you know. I usually like to watch shows like this on our newer upgrade players, so that, you know, so they can get better video quality. But I can only watch the A-Team in our old DVD player, which isn't bad, but mainly we only use it for its sound system at this point, that we loop into the other players. But it'll only play on that older player. If you try it on any of the newer ones, it has freeze screens, and it's really aggravating. But I was happy to find out that the complete series set of the A-Team, as I found out from Sean, has actually put all the seasons on single side. But unfortunately it is in cheap packaging, and the discs aren't well held from what I hear. But I might pick it up eventually. For right now, though, I guess it's not all bad, because of all the 80s shows, the transfers of the A-Team, I actually have to say, are the best. Because although we do watch it in the older player, of all these shows, it's the show that would look the best in the old player. They did a nice job, actually, of preserving and restoring at least the picture quality of the A-Team. Because even though we're not watching it in the upgrade in order to eliminate freeze screens, it still is very good quality. But I'd like to be able to watch it in our normal players. And then again, they did this. And the disc is missing. Must be left in the player. Heyo. See, this is why I don't like these slim cases. Juggling around, fumbling them. Yeah. So that's the A-Team. And a nice little fun fact about these shows. Actually, there you go. A-Team, Simon, and Magnum. These are all owned by Universal. Universal owns the rights to all three of these 80s classics. And you can see on the spines, they all have Universal logo. However, as you know, Universal is a partner with NBC, and typically Paramount is a partner with CBS. Now, Magnum and Simon were both shows on CBS, as my dad remembers it, and for many years ran back to back. So they were on CBS. Yet, at some point or another, NBC Universal, bought out the rights to them. The A-Team was on NBC, so Universal has had the rights for this from the get-go. But I just find it interesting. You know, you can go to these websites for the networks, CBS, NBC, and they have classic sections for all their classic shows. And you would expect to find these on the CBS site, but they're actually on the NBC site, because they bought out the rights at some point between the shows, when the shows finished their series, and between that and the point these sets were put out, they bought the rights. I just find that interesting. Knight Rider, I also think Universal owns the rights to. I'm not sure which network that originally aired on. Maybe Zaranyzerak could help me out there. But there you go. Our 3-week 80s extravaganza comes to a close. So again, just like the previous two, the A-Team, I'm not going to recommend this highly, except for the original Season 1 release. So as far as collecting them for the best, to play them in all your beta players, I'm going to say hold off on the A-Team season sets and go for the complete series if you want to put up with the packaging. But if you don't mind playing the A-Team in an older player, you're definitely okay to go with the season sets. So there you go. See you next week for some more in-depths. or next week, or no, maybe it'll be 2 weeks. We'll see. Okay. Thanks.